Hey everyone, Pat Mesiti. It's Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. and the thick plottins, or the plot thickens. I want to address something today that is really to do with jobs and the absolute hypocrisy, stupidity, inconsistency, absolute deranged people we have trying to create jobs. Firstly, let me say, there is no teacher shortage. There is no transport shortage. There is no nurses shortage. There is a mandate problem. And who do they bring out? Who are the big guns they bring out for the job summit? Well, let's bring out the superstars of the Sack the People World Champions. Firstly, they got Dictator Dan. Now, listen to Dictator Dan. Here's what Dictator Dan says. I mean, this is brilliant. Dictator Dan said yesterday, this incredible man who's so interested in helping people keep their jobs, that he will fire you if you don't comply to his manner. But all of a sudden he cares. And this is what Dictator, clueless, I can't remember who signed the checks to the quarantine, Dictator Dan says that the biggest sector is in childhood and childhood education and childcare. And we must do all we can. We must do all we can to make sure that women enter the workforce. Unless, of course, you don't do what Dictator Dan says. Then you women that want a job, unless you can't get a job because you are a danger, because you are not complicit, because you are a threat to the children, to society. You menaces out there. But if you are, then this is the greatest job opportunity, the greatest economy. I mean, read the dribble that comes out of this ning-nong's mouth. The sad part that gets me going is the pathetic, impotent Liberal Party in Victoria. I'm telling you, Dan's going to get back in. Make no mistake about it. Don't go telling me it's all planned. It's because they're pathetic and they're useless down there in Victoria. Where are the Jeff Kennetts in Victoria? And sadly, the sad people of Victoria will go and vote for this ning-nong yet again, who on the one hand starts crying and proposing this great vision of employment. Now that's the number one guy they bring in there. The number two guy is a man who lives off taxpayers' money, and his airline is paid by taxpayers. Mr. Allen, I can't stand Israel Folau. I'll get him sacked through the back door. Mr. Joyce. Alan Joyce, the CEO of Qantas, who would not let you travel on a plane, and by the way, get this right, get this, by the way, now, as of next week, you don't have to wear a mask because the disease knows that's it. Next week, you're all safe. The disease knows. Alan Joyce, in July 2021, the federal court found that Qantas, with Mr. Joyce at the helm, illegally sacked 1,683 ground crew workers during the pandemic in a violation of the Fair Work Act. In part because he wanted to outsource a portion of the airline's workforce that was heavily unionised. Now, with that history in mind, Transport Workers Union Secretary Michael Caine should disqualify Joyce from being part of that forum. And I've got to say, James Murray did a brilliant article on this. Alan Joyce is so hypocritical. His participation is so hypocritical. He should be thrown out on his ear. This guy who took a little wage cut, have you seen the money this guy and his executives make? And some of you got problems with preachers making money. These guys are living off the fat, off the hog of people through your tax money, But you're not allowed to fly the aircraft unless you do what he says internationally and unless you wear the nappy. I tell you who ought to wear a nappy because his mouth's full of manure. His mouth's full of manure or dynamic lifter. Put the word in that you want to put in there. Qantas, under his leadership, has taken a lead role in pocketing billions in taxpayers' welfare and breaking laws to sack and attack workers, leaving airports in crisis, while he lives on the fat of the land at your and mine expense. And they got the audacity to invite this man who, by the way, has an agenda. He's an activist. Number one, doesn't like the Christian community. Number two, doesn't like the likes of Israel Folau. And number three, don't tell me he had nothing to do with what happened to Folau. They hid him. Maybe he was in the closet. I don't know what he was. But the hypocrisy. Can I just ask the question? I don't care what you think about Clive Palmer. Where's Clive Palmer? Unless something's changed. 60,000 employees, but not asked to join the summit. I guarantee you he employs more people than Dictator Dan. I get it. He's one of those evil people who tell you what's going to happen tomorrow today. Called a theorist, you know. Interesting who's invited to the summit. Dan, Alan Joyce. The only one they missed out on is Grace up here in Queensland. Grace, who shows no grace, who goes out and docks the pay for 18 weeks of teachers. This woman might have her name Grace, but she shows none. And why? Not because of science. This science thing is a crock of crap. There's nothing to do with science and everything to do, you bruise our feelings because you did not comply. Yet teachers put themselves at risk every day. And she wants to dock them pay because they don't follow her science. It's not science. Science, think about it, people. Albanese this week makes a call. By the way, and newspapers reported that he called South Sydney to tell them that the ISO period was going to go down from 7 days to 5 days so that Damien, looking from South Sydney, can play. Wow, I didn't know that the new science was based on rugby league teams and those you barrack for. And by the way, they got a heads up on it. Are you kidding me? These people don't give two hoots about your jobs. They don't. This summit is for these guys to go out there, live high on the hog. By the way, I bet you that at this summit, bugs are not on the menu unless, of course, they're bugs from up here in Queensland come out of the ocean, which they will serve with their cocktail sauce at your expense. It is a joke. It is an absolute joke. On Saturday, listen to me very carefully. I care about people's employment and I care about people's financial future. Listen to me very carefully. On Saturday, I'm doing my economic summit called Money Mind Mastery. Now, the event, we've got over 600 people registered already. If you want a ticket, the link is in the chat. You need to register for it. These people don't care about your job. Get it through our heads. They want you to own nothing and be happy. All of this, Dan Andrews, Alan Joyce, invited to talk about jobs. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's like asking Shaquille O'Neal, Shark, to advise us. Oh, sorry, he did. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, no, he's used as a spokesperson for the young, even though the custodians of the land in America were not African Americans and the native Indians. You gotta laugh. Folks, Saturday, 10 a.m. and 6 p.m, I've got my event on. Register. Be part of it. Don't sit there on your rusty dusty. I've got more to say in a minute about some stuff. Also, our rallies are coming up. We have booked our rallies in Bow Desert. We have booked and secured our facilities that we'll be hiring out over there in Toowoomba. Now, Bow Desert starts on the 18th. By the way, I'm not done with my rant yet. On the 18th of September at Harvest Point Church. Get out there, register. There'll be a link here for it. And then, of course, we're going to Toowoomba the 9th through to the 12th. I'll be celebrating my birthday up there in Toowoomba. 9th to the 12th of October. And Pastor Jimmy up there from Victory is going to be hosting us up there. And we're going to be using the facilities there. We've hired out some facilities that we could use. There will be a link in here. Listen to me very carefully. Don't go telling me you want revival. We're praying for God to move. We've got to turn this nation around, and you don't show up. Otherwise, it's all rhetoric and pointless posting. You need to be there. Now, Knox Grammar School. Knox Grammar School has suspended some boys. Let me tell you what they need to do. Number one, they need to kick those little spoiled mongrels out. Now, one of the newspapers said, what a shocking thing that Knox Grammar did. And it was shocking. And it is deplorable. And it is disgusting. And then it says, just to think these people could be our future judges and lawyers and doctors. I hate to tell you this, but people with that kind of mentality, vilification, that have got weird concepts up here, including pedophilia, I shouldn't mention that one apparently, they're already in positions of power. What's happening at Knox Grammar is not a reflection of the school or the teachers. It's a reflection of the culture. Our culture has gone nuts. We threw God out of school. We're now throwing God out of Parliament. We can't even open up in the Lord's Prayer. And guess what? The woke church is still silent. The woke church in this country is more upset about, and they have more fear of journalists than they've got the fear of God inside of them. They don't preach anything that's salt. Let me remind you that the Holy Spirit came to convict the world of sin, righteousness, and judgment. They're the three things. But we don't mention that because love covers all. But it's not working, folks. And I do say that love covers a multitude of sins. But what is happening here in this society and what's happening in Knox is a reflection of a moral compass that is not a compass pointing north anymore. It's more like one of those clocks that's lost control, or like a spinning top. What do you expect these boys to be? Outstanding, law-abiding, wonderful, value-filled young men, when society promotes the garbage and trash that it does, and when teachers are more concerned about being activists than they are in education. You know, when platforms like this try to ban people like me, and they have, and by the way, can you help us? Go to our links. We have been banned on Instagram. We have tried everything we can. I'm going to encourage a lot of you to go over to Rumble. You can find me on Rumble. Go over to Rumble. My team's told me to tell you what, get on over to Rumble. Get on over there. They've shadow banned us on Instagram and given us a heck of a time, and this place is no different in some degree. So get on over to Rumble. And you can follow us on mesiti.com/links. All our platforms are there. So hightail it over to Rumble, guys, before it's too late. But when they ban or they try and silence and cancel people like myself and some of the others, that's evil. It's wrong. But when our churches stay silent, that's an abomination. And what I'm finding, and I know this might get me in hot water, but I'm finding a lot of church leaders have more fear of journos, more fear of what comes out of my mouth, even though I'm trying to keep churches open, trying to keep them alive and buoyant and relevant, than they have fear of God. That's scary. When you are more afraid of media than the Almighty, you got a problem. And sadly, we do. What's happening at Knox Grammar, I agree with Carl Stevanovich, it's vile, disgraceful, disgusting. Just as vile and disgraceful and disgusting as what they did to City Point. And what they did to one of my friends who right now is facing a court case because he stood up against certain perversions. The balance is not balanced. It's out of balance. The inmates are running the asylum, and we need to get it back. Saturday is part of that. Saturday for me is a day. I did it on purposely before Father's Day because my goal is to help people become financially independent. When a person like Grace that has no grace, how amazing grace, how sour the sound that punished a wretch like you. You once had a job, then you were sacked because you weren't blind and they won't see. I'm a poet and didn't know it. They don't care about your financial security. They don't care about your financial well-being. We do. Saturday morning, 10 a.m., there'll be a link here. Join us for our Money Mind Mastery. There is more to money than money. There is more to money than money. A lot of it is what's going on in our inner world. I look forward to seeing you there. Please register. Hey, share this. Get word out there. Please remember, Mesiti.com/links. Hightail it over there to Rumble. Number 2, please join us on Saturday. I'll put the link on there. And then also our rallies, mesitilive.com. Get the information out there. We're going to keep on feeding information as we get it. We're going to be advertising on radio, TV, everywhere. So we really believe for a great move of the spirit and a great move towards this country getting back on track. God bless everyone. And hey, please share this and God bless you.